It's great to have you all here today. We've got people from Canada, we've got people from Denmark, hello Rennie. We've got people from South Africa. Arian, hello, long time no speak. Most of you know me, but we'll introduce ourselves anyway, just so we can set the scene and enjoy what this short but hopefully informative webinar is going to provide you with. So without further ado, let's get going. So just by way of a bit of housekeeping, at the moment, we're going to do an introduction to your presenters and the two companies that are involved, Timeharvest and Vpress. We're going to discuss why you would integrate workflow with solutions like we're going to be showing you today. We're going to give you a very brief, summarized web to print demonstration. I'm sure you can understand that while a web to print demonstration is quite quick and easy and quite sexy, an MIS one maybe not so. So we're going to summarize that and give you a quick example of what we're going to do. We're going to discuss a couple of good case studies in order to do that. And then we're going to summarize with a marketing automation discussion at the end. And we very much welcome your questions when we get towards the end. The questions you can put in by text, and Daniel will pick those text questions up and fire them at Ray and myself in order to address that. This meeting is being recorded, so we appreciate you just staying on silent until we get to the Q&As, which will be by text. So without further ado, let's proceed. I'm going to hand over to Ray.
Good afternoon, everybody. So my name's Ray Barber, for those of you that don't know me. I'm a keen golfer and a big Liverpool FC fan. Big fan of MIS, obviously, and I've been involved in print for around 25 years now. So I joined Timeharvest in July last year. I was previously a client of Timeharvest, real big fan of the system. I love its simplicity. And yeah, so that's me. That's why I'm here. Okay. So why would you consider Timeharvest? So I said, one of the things that I really love about Timeharvest is the simplicity of the system. It keeps everything in one place. One of my frustrations in my previous role was that we had lots of systems to do lots of different things. So Timeharvest brings that all under one umbrella, puts everything in one place. It's a very visual system. It's very colourful. It makes everything nice and easy to read for everybody. We've got our centralized operations, so we've got call logging there that we have for everybody, all of your inquiry tracking, client management, project creation, estimation, it's all there. We've added a new feature recently for enhanced client management, which allows you to track all of your incoming phone calls, etc., as well as your usual web traffic and however else you receive your orders through there. Project visibility, like I said, Timeharvest is a very visual system. It's very simple in that regard. It's nice and colourful. Each tab has its own meaning. Each colour, as you'll see in the demonstration, means something. And we've got a nice big dayboard in there that allows you to track and follow everything as well. We've added ISO compliance in there, again, in the theme of keeping everything centralised. So we've got lots of containers in there to keep your waste transfer notes, etc. All of your non-conformance and those kind of things that are generally in separate systems. We've tried to bring all of that into the one umbrella as well. So, the fact that we are good for small businesses, we've got lots of small business on board, probably 5 to 10 users as an average. But we also have some pretty big businesses on board. One of them we're going to touch on in the case study, but has around 80 active users of the system. So we work with everybody from small 1 or 2 man printers right the way up to kind of 70 or 80. So yeah, we can bolt on what works for you. You can use what's there. Use it in its simplest form as an estimating tool, or you can use it all the way through and incorporate all of these elements to that.
And then just to give you an introduction to me, although I seem to know most of you who are on here already, my name's Kelvin Bell. I'm the sales director at Vpress, lifelong Newcastle United fan, which is interesting because we're playing Liverpool in the Carabao Cup in a couple of weeks at Wembley. So it's going to be see the mighty Newcastle win there. I've got a passion for Italy and good red wine. I feel as though they go hand in hand. I've been at Vpress since we founded it in 2001. Absolutely love my job. If you're good at anything, be good at the one thing that you love doing. And for me, that's web to print. I really do have a passion for the print industry and web to print, and I've got 25 years experience in doing what we do around the world. And why Vpress? Well, we're an established web to print provider. We don't sell print. We don't do MIS. We don't build websites. What we do is we do the web to print application that drives automation efficiency into thousands of businesses. With an estimated of 70% of print now online in the UK, web to print or print on demand, although I still think web to print is the more descriptive name, is now prevailing as one of the main points of print ordering. We offer the most affordable, robust, and supported application in the market. We integrate into anything upstream, downstream, middleware, based upon what your customers need to do and what can help your production workflow. Over the years, we've built a name in Vpress that you can trust, and it's a bricks and mortar business. We have no debt, we have no VC interest. The company is private, it's profitable, and it's here for the long term, not the short term. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an introduction if you didn't know that already. So why would you integrate MIS and web to print? Well, the UK market is a 13.7 billion pound market. What's that? Just under 15 billion euro market, according to the BPIF. So print still is a vibrant commodity that people can source and buy. But the people who buy print are purchasing differently. Since the pandemic back in 2019, the way people buy online has changed. People have gone online, according to the ONS, and they've stayed online. And sites like Amazon really do define what they've done and how items are procured. So people are buying 24/7, 365. So they're buying every day of the week. They're looking to order because people are working different. And the optimum ordering time is 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. for B2B print. So it's obviously longer than that for things like B2C. So with buyers purchasing differently, we have to have the solutions in place in order to accommodate that. And what we mean by that is allowing the buyer, today's buyer, to buy at their convenience, not yours. Most print shops are open, 8 till 6 or 7 till 5. A lot of print, like I said, from the hours before 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., they're ordering at different times. So we have to match that. And by bringing automation into the mix, what it does, it reduces time and cost. It allows you to free up those jobs where perhaps there's not enough profit, so you can make them scalable, you make them efficient, and you can increase the amount of profit on those jobs coming through. So automation really is the future. And here in the UK, we've got a lot of printers who've really embraced automation. And what we've tried to do here with Timeharvest is to provide a solution that's affordable and easy to easy to adopt and make an impact for your business. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a demonstration of our software. And I'm just going to ask Ray. Ray, you can see that okay?
Yep, I can see that.
Yep. Just so we don't have a small technical issue. Now, our web to print system has and continues to evolve and caters for a whole range of different products. What we've got here is we've got a system that can be deployed in 20 minutes. It's easy to manage and it can be completely white labeled from the URL to the branding to the themes within there. So it's all completely configurable. You don't have to be a programmer in order to do that. And if you are too busy, Vpress is on hand with us, our excellent support guys, in order to give you some assistance in order to do that. So I've got a welcome. The user is obviously me. I've got a message here. Incidentally, if anybody wants to support me for the Great Tommy's sleep out, they're more than welcome. I'm really struggling to get to that £5,000. I thought I'd mention that. We've got some categories on the interface. We've got key products. And it's not just print, we've got stethoscopes, t-shirts, pens, as well as menus, posters, and direct mail. And we've got the ability to track and review orders and orders that have been items that have been recently saved within the system. But I don't have time to go through a full presentation of the system, so I'm going to concentrate on the straightforward and simple items. The first item I'm going to click is on a print on demand item. And here we've got a virtualized print room. And in doing so, I'm going to click on this A4 brochure upload. And I'm going to take a file from my desktop. This is all live demonstration here, so I can see the profile of the product. I'm going to upload a PDF from my desktop, so there's no emailing of that PDF. And while I'm sharing screen, sharing camera, that PDF now is in the cloud and our system is processing it here. So it's checking, it's pre-flighting that while I've been talking. It's told me that there's 2 black and white pages, 14 color pages. As I scroll down, I can see the 2 black and white pages and I've got thumbnails. This supports multi-part jobs as well. So you might not know the job that your customer is going to send to you, but what we can do is we can check to make sure that job is going to be okay and go through. And more importantly for the customer, they can get that instant price as well. This price here is being managed by Vpress, but we do integrate into other applications where we can be led by the price by that application. As I scroll down, I have these elements here where I can change variables around this job. This could be a multi-part job and I could specify different variables for each part. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pick premium 200 gram paper and I'm going to pick 300 gram cover stock. The price is being influenced based upon the options that I'm changing here. For binding, I'm going to go for perfect bound. I'm going to include some drop shipping on here as well. So just upload a spreadsheet to address that. So I'm configuring the unit price for this item. This could be anything, absolutely anything. This could be a large format job that needs fixings and electricity, whatever it needs to be. We come down here and I've got a quantity. If I enter a quantity of 123, it will instantly work out the price. If I do 567, again, it's instantly given the customer the price. So when we go on the internet, if we follow the example that Amazon sets, we can get an instant price based upon the items that we want. Print is the same. People expect to have a price wherever available. We understand with estimates that might not be the case, but in this case, we're giving instant pricing, and I'm going to add that item to my basket. So I've got one product in my basket, and I'm going to continue shopping. I'm going to come through here. I'm going to go into a stock item and I'm going to look at a different kind of product here. This is where there's a medical brochure on the system and the system is holding the artwork. So it's centralized artwork for the customer. I'm coming here. This is a US medical brochure. I can flip through the pages. I can access a PDF and I can order a drop down quantity. There's no price associated to that. So it might just be centrally held artwork that the customer can call off. I can add that to basket like so. Very straightforward. 2 different kinds of web to print products that you would probably most commonly associate with web to print 2. So I'm clicking continue shopping and I'm going back to the main page just to show you one more product. And as with all live demos, it gets really exciting when the page doesn't load up as you expect it. There we go. That would have been my internet, not so much the actual system. When we come through here, I want to go into Marcoms and I come in here and I've got lots of demos. So if anybody wanted a demo for us to be able to support them and their customer, you can contact us and we would do that. You don't even have to be our customer. We would support you for something like that. I'm scrolling down here and I've got lots of different products, each one of these with a different story. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to one of the more complex products, which is a corporate brochure. I'm coming into the corporate brochure and I'm going to be using a dynamic editor. We are super proud of this. This gives the visualization of the artwork that I can edit and amend on the fly. It shows me the pages that we go through on how it's been set up. We have some additional tools and we have an information panel here in order to make changes. So I can remove that logo like so. I can upload a new image. I can go into the airline folder. The system comes with Digital Asset Manager. A good DAM is quite an expensive tool to procure. We've built DAM into the actual software and we're using it here. And again, today I'm working from home, so I'm experiencing the slight lag. It's in the demonstration. I'm going to click on a logo here. and I'm going to select that logo. So the logo is defined in a certain area. I can't move it. I can actually lock it down, so it's completely locked. But I do have a little bit of freedom to centralize it there. So I'm not creating a new brochure from scratch. I'm just editing a template. So not being in marketing, I can never think of anything really good to say. So what I can do is I can use specified branding colors there in order to add text onto the template. So what I could do is I could put new routes. And the system knows where the text is going to go, and I can influence the font, I can influence the justification, the font size, but only within parameters. We're not allowing somebody to create a new artwork completely. This image here is quite generic, more for production. We can remove that. And again, we have the ability to go into the DAM. We can select the lady here. It's already optimized. Maybe I don't want that image. We can come back and we want to select something a bit more airline. And what we can do is we can set this picture here of cabin crew. And the system won't allow me to select this image, probably because the DPI or the aspect ratio is incorrect. But that's okay, because we have crop image here, and the system will maintain the DPI and the aspect ratio for that image. So what we can do is we can select that image there. We can select it. It saves the original image. So it's now repurposing the second image. So we're not ruining the artwork, because images are expensive assets for a company. And I've now put that in there. I have the ability to amend the opacity, so I can tone the image down. And again, these are all standard tools within our software. We can click here. We can specify different color options for the text there. White works best of all. And I can go through the document and I can make changes where it's pertinent to do so, to be more in line with the actual color of the actual airline. So the system has a whole bunch of tools. Some parts of it can be locked down. So instead of web to print, we can go Y, British Airways. I've been doing this job for 25 years and I still can't talk, type and spell at the same time. I really cannot multitask. But we can look at the actual artwork. Wherever needed, we can click on an image. We can replace that. The system will repurpose, resize and adjust the image in order to fit the actual document. When we go down to the bottom, we can click on there. We can see that we've got modules. Some of this is actual locked, so there's not a lot we can do, and some of it we can actually amend. And as we go through the document, we make whatever changes is pertinent to do. Coming down to the last page, there's a lot of functionality here. What we can do, we can move the image, we can change the background color, so we can drastically amend that. We can move the text around. We can change the justification. Let's change that to left, move that down to there, and move the image to halfway. And let's say we're going to make 30% savings here on this particular artwork. When we're happy with that, we can order it like so. Save that as a job file. And then the system will allow me to order it. It's now given me a price, a unit price. And what we can do, although we've made the changes to the actual artwork, I can make changes around the finishing and the style of that artwork. So although it's got £85 there, I've now got my piece of artwork here processed, all production ready as a page turning book. I can now select what color substrates I'm going to use, the cover stock, it's amending the price and how many I want. I've got a maximum of 1,000. I'm going to order 110 and I'm going to add that to basket. So that's quite a complicated product. I've really just done a very brief overview. There's a whole heap of additional functionality there that I haven't really concentrated on. But we've come through here. Everything here is configurable. So 1, 2, 3, 4, cost center, purchase order, whatever information you need to be paid, address details. We can add new addresses, drop shipping, put a little post-it note on there. Please call when ready. We can, of course, have a payment gateway on here. We can link to an ERP system, SAP, Ariba, Coupa, Jagger, and Valua, all those kind of great systems are out there. And now the system is processing the order. A lot of web to print stops there. We don't. We go a little stage further, which I'll show you when the order checks out. Once you've actually checked out the order is then available for any printer on the back end to receive it. So we're feeding jobs into a live printer work queue at any time. So order number 2138, if I come up here and I go into order report, what we can come down here, the first thing you can see here is 2138 is broken up by line item. So we've got granular tracking of the item. So each order line within that order has its own status, which is feeding into the MIS system. It has its own order line ID, so we can track and trace each line item. And this one here has authorization. So for the purpose of today's demonstration, all these are being pushed straight through into Timeharvest because we have the integration already available. But in a live version, this wouldn't be progressed. It would sit here and we could have shipping and other information available here. When we come here, if chronologically, I want to know who's ordered what, when, and run a report, I can chronologically pick my start and stop dates for a report to run, search for keywords or titles, and I can export that to Excel if needed. So what I've done there is I've given you a summary demonstration of our web to print, and this is just B2B. We also integrate into WordPress and Shopify. We have a new Shopify app that's just recently been launched. If you need any more information, if you want to have a deeper dive into it, none of that is actually a problem. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand over to Ray and let Ray take over.
Okay, guys, I'm just going to share my screen now. Just confirm for me, Kelvin, that you can see that.
Yep, I can see that.
Perfect. Okay, guys, so Kelvin's just pushed that order through now. So I'm going to start here on the main screen of Timeharvest. So this is what you'll get when you first open the system and log in the morning. And we can see just at the top here, we've got our Vpress order that Kelvin's just placed. It's red, which means it's in production. And if we pop into that order there, we can see here we've got the 3 products that have been ordered, client PO as Kelvin put into the system there, and the client order number, as well as the 3 items. So what our system does, what Timeharvest is, essentially at its core is a cost up calculator. So we've got a product library that we'd have made to match the products in the system on Timeharvest and on Vpress. And in Timeharvest here, it will show us the cost, subject to what machines we've set up to print these on and how we finish them. It's going to show us our markup and it's going to show us our selling price. So you can see we've got a 0 here because we've got a stock item that's already been printed. We already know the cost of that, but that's potentially already been invoiced and is showing a 0 value on this particular order. Taking you back for an overview of the system as a whole, we've got our main product page here. And like I said, it's very visual Timeharvest. So it's been color coded in order to be able to filter quickly. So if I just want to see what I'm quoting at the moment, then I can filter by quotes. If I wanted to break that down more, I can just filter by the estimator. If I wanted to look at what was in production, I can just hit production there, and I can sort by a specific salesperson and just see their particular elements at the moment. What have we got in the system that's completed? So I can click on the green elements there and that'll just show me those. And then I'll have my purple elements here, which are our invoiced jobs. So, and if I go back, that will show me all of them. I can filter by a particular client. And I can look at all of their jobs, their voided jobs, their quoted, production, invoiced, etc. So quite quickly, I can navigate around and see what's going on with any particular client and at what stage their orders are at, just from that main project window there. Our second tab here is where we hold our client information. So fairly simply, it's a list of our clients, our current status for those clients. So we break clients down into 3 sections. So we have suspects, which we would classify as somebody whose information we have in the system, but we've not yet done a quote for. We have prospects. So they are someone we've got in the system and we've actually quoted but not yet completed an order for. And then we have a customer, which would obviously be somebody we've actually completed a job and invoiced. Within this, we have their account details, the default salesperson. We do have the ability to organise them by category as well. So if you wanted to break down your clients, we can do that. If you want to target construction, etc., and use that in some sort of way for mailing and marketing purposes, then that can be done as well. Behind the scenes of those clients, we have all of our invoicing information. So we can have our invoicing details, any alternative addresses, as well as the invoice addresses and our contacts. And we can also navigate through and scroll through any projects that have been completed for those clients as well and access them through this tab as well. Yeah, I'll skip over the clients tab now and move on to our call history tab. So call history, this is where I was referring to our enhanced client management features. Now, this is a new tab that we've added recently. And what this tab here does is it gives you the ability, it's called call history because it can track all of your calls and all of your activity that you've got coming up. It's almost like a to-do list in some ways. If you've got multiple users, it will only show them their particular call history for their clients. And in this scenario here, you can log whatever activity you like. We can edit that in just a simple form here. This is the client that I'm contacting. What's the current status? This is an inquiry, a prospect, a suspect, etc. What's the activity? Is it a phone call, a visit, an email, a Teams call, referral? What comments? What are the next actions? And what's the date you want to be reminded? You can create another new event from here, or you close this window. If you wanted to then create a project from this particular window, you can just click over here on the left-hand side, and that will take you straight into a project where you could start doing an estimate for them. So we think that's quite a useful function. It's only just been released into 2 or 3 clients now, so hopefully we'll get some more feedback on that as we go. Sales team tab is fairly self-explanatory. You do have the option to pop an embarrassing picture, or some people put their signature in there that would actually appear on some quotes. But this is your basic sales team information. We've got some generic text here that would appear on the quotes, just to try and keep everything formatted and keep everything simple for everyone and consistent. We have our product library tab. So the product library is key when it comes to integrating into the web to print side of things. If I type Vpress in here as the client. So we have a list of products that we've put in here just for demo purposes at the moment. These codes here match with the Vpress product library, and that links them together essentially. So that's how it pulls through the API from Vpress into the Timeharvest MIS system. So we've got some products here without a code. As it stands at the moment, if you ordered those, they wouldn't pull through, whereas these ones would all pull through nicely. That product library is really good for things that you're ordering regularly. So even if they're not on web to print, you can have a full list or a full price list in there of clients for their regular items that they're ordering. What we find with Timeharvest is web to print aside, lots of projects are very similar. So whilst we can have templates, we have the product library, and then we can clone and we can copy entire projects, or we can copy items from the product library into the system. So really all the work is at the front end. Once we set up the system with you, once you save your product library items and price lists, once you've got all of your back-end information in, then everything becomes simple. It becomes a couple of clicks to enter product library items. It becomes cloning regular jobs. So quoting and estimating from scratch, yes, it happens, but you're going to have something similar in the system somewhere that you're going to be copying from. Suppliers and POs, very simply, similar to the clients tab. This is where all your suppliers go. In relation to ISOs, we have a review date in here against the suppliers. We can rate them on price and quality. We can also list in this item here, we can add supplier services. So we can actually simply identify what kind of services the suppliers offer. And if you've onboarded the client, new supplier forms, etc., they can all be uploaded into this container. So they'll stay on the system here. Once you've got information in there for a supplier, that will go red. And again, it's just that ISO tracking, keeping all of those bits and pieces all in one place, so you haven't got to go searching for them. So when someone comes and they want to see your waste transfer notes, you'd have uploaded them into the supplier there, and yeah, it's all there. Now, quite a big feature of Timeharvest is our dayboard function. So a lot of our clients have this up on big screens within their print room. I've seen it in the MD's office as well. So they can see constantly where all of the jobs are throughout their life as soon as they're booked in. So again, nice and colourful. We have any red items here are overdue. Anything blue is due out today, and anything green is due out in the future. We can sort this in various ways. We can sort it by department. So if I just wanted to see the studio items, that will pull in anything that's got a studio element to me. Each day has a time against it. So one of the big things we're keen on capturing is not only your costs, but we want to capture and manage your time. So we want to show how long is that supposed to be in the studio for. When someone's finished that element, they have the ability to go in here and sign it off. And they have the ability to adjust the time taken as well. So if you quoted for an hour and 15 minutes for a job and it's only taken 45, you can adjust that accordingly, and you can put any notes in here. And the same with each of the finishing processes, printing processes, any outsource work, etc. All of that can be accessed to on this screen. It doesn't have to be on a big screen. This can be accessed on a workstation as well. So it's nice and visible. As someone who's from an operations and production background, I found this invaluable. This was where I started my day every day, looking at this. What have we got today? It formed the basis of our production meetings in the morning, and lots of very useful information here. Just for proofing, this has been approved, it's been signed off. I can see at what stage this is at. You can access this from an iPad, from your iPhone, anywhere where your device has a connection. You can get onto the web and see this. Now, deliveries tab, this is another new tab that we've added recently. So we now have the ability to track all the pending deliveries and have them signed for on glass via an iPad, via an iPhone. So just like you do with any kind of delivery that you get nowadays from Amazon or DPD, etc. As soon as the driver's there and drops off the parcel, you can take a picture, you can get your signature, and that will feed straight back into the system here as well. So, and then the final tab we have here is our reporting tab. So we break down reports into 3 sections. We have our general reports, quotes for follow-up, work in progress. We have a daily sales and order report, which some of our clients like to have at 7 o'clock every morning, just so they can take a look at that whilst they're on the way into the office, see what was booked in yesterday, what's in production for today, and what's already been invoiced for the month. We have the more detailed filtered reports here for invoice sales, booked in sales, purchase order history, etc., all filtered by date. And then we have some bespoke reports over here as well, which we can filter by salesperson, by customer, and then, very much tailor reports for what you specifically want to see from the system. So that's an overview of the system as a whole. If I go back to the project that we booked in for Kelvin now, there's two ways to sign these jobs off, one via the table that I showed you, and another is going back into the project and signing off the individual elements there. So I can click into this project. I'm not going to sign off all the individual elements because I'm conscious I don't want to drag this out too long. It can get quite boring to go through everything in detail, but I'll sign off the whole thing there. Or I can sign off the entire project as a whole. And that now has converted this project to a completed project. What I can do now is from that screen, I can invoice it, but just for demonstration purposes, I can just show you in here that this is now in the completed section. And we have an ability here for the salesman or someone senior in the team to say, okay, is that ready to invoice? I'm going to select yes. So now I know if I go back into that project, this invoice, this is ready for invoice approval. It's good to go. I can send this invoice out. I'm going to click the invoice button here. Oh, we don't have an account code for Vpress. Can fix that fairly simply. Asks me, am I sure I want to invoice this project? Takes me through to this window. I've got various ways I can show short descriptions, show long descriptions. We've only got a short description in here for this one. I'm going to invoice the job. I can preview that. I can send that via PDF. I can send the PDF with a CSV breaking down the projects and the items in there. I can save that to my desktop and do all the usual things that you would do with an invoice. Now, when it comes to invoicing, we have an API link with QuickBooks and with Xero. With Sage, we have a CSV import and export function that works very well. Some people use it to go all the way through for invoicing. Some people just do the export and invoice in a separate system. So that takes us all the way through the system there. And hopefully you can see how simple that is to take a job right the way through, to track it all the way through, and gives you a good understanding of where the system's at. So I'll hand back over to Kelvin now.
Right, okay, thank you for that, Ray.
No problem.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to give you some case studies and then just wrap this short session off. So I'll hand this over to Ray.
Yeah. Okay, so ReproPoint are one of our web-to-print customers that we share. And quote from Adrian Pace, who's the production manager there now. So integrating Vpress into Timeharvest completely streamlined our workflow, eliminating manual processes, reducing turnaround times, and improved job visibility. Orders now flow seamlessly into production, freeing up our team to focus on delivering high quality print. ReproPoint has been a customer, a shared customer for I believe 6 or 7 years now, at least. And they were the first. They were the first company that we integrated with Vpress on. I believe Apogee, I'll hand you back to Kelvin now. They are by far our biggest user of Vpress.
So ReproPoint and Apogee have been great customers of Vpress, and we've had long-term relationships with both. Apogee in particular, we've worked with 10, 12, 14 years, support them at events, right through an evolution that they've gone on their side. Some nice words from Louise. Basically, we provide a secure, scalable solution to Apogee, who've done a fantastic job in pivoting within the market. So we went into the pandemic. Apogee were able to change what they did on a day-to-day basis and using our technology, tailor it to meet what their customers wanted. And that led to a high volume of work going through. But great relationship. Apogee have picked up the phone to us several times when they've had a challenge, and we've delivered. So that's a brief introduction to that. So looking at providing a affordable solution, what we've done here, and I'm going to ask Ray to chip in here, we've tried to create a package to assist printers in the market. We know we're going through a very challenging time, and what we've done is we've configured a package just for a short period to try and help people. Ray, do you want to just explain this?
Yeah, so our target of small to medium printers, we feel this is a great solution for those who fit that description. It's a complete solution. Between us, it's an offering of £6,000 per year. The initial setup of £2,000 for setup and training. As I said, with Timeharvest especially, and with Vpress, all of the hard work's done at the front end, and then once it's up and running, then you can really fly with that. Timeharvest £250 per month, and Vpress £250 per month, and what that gives a company is complete automation for all the workflow. As we've mentioned, it's 24/7 order management, 365 days a year. It's production ready. All of the pre-flight and pre-press is done within the templates in Vpress, and it hits Timeharvest straight into your production workflow. Production pick it up, and we've got all that management information and billing ready to go straight through the system.
And what we've done is we've created something that's only available for a short period of time because feasibly we couldn't sustain that long term. So that is something we're going to continue to the end of the financial year. And then, just conscious of time going on, I'll just give you a quick summary before we do some questions. I've seen there's a couple of questions that have come through. So hopefully what we've shown here, a live presentation, and I emphasize live because a lot of people do show recorded. We're actually in different locations and we've been handing over almost professionally. We've shown a live demonstration of an easy to achieve workflow automation for any print business, and from the biggest companies like Apogee to the smallest companies that are out there. And web to print integration into MIS offers 20 to 40% proven savings. That's profit. That's in your back pocket. And that can happen within weeks, not months, years. That can happen within weeks when the right products are automated. We've shown that we can give access to B2B, but we can also give access to B2C from apps like our new Shopify app to WordPress WooCommerce to any sort of e-commerce platform, not just for yours, but for B2B2B or B2B2C. We can support those kind of relationships. It's driving traffic 24/7 into the business. We've got the ability to retain those clients. So with B2B, you can give your client a portal and you can mine the customer for more orders. It's a different way of tackling sales, but it's proven to work. So from business cards, you can go into marketing, from marketing, you can go into large format and so forth, based upon what your clients are actually looking for. 24/7, 365 ordering. Once people went online in 2019, they've stayed online. Granted, there's quite an international audience here. It might not be the same everywhere. South Africa was already way ahead of us with mobile phone ordering. All our products are mobile phone optimized. So, we're tackling and driving solutions into that market. So hopefully, what we've provided here is a solid foundation to help your business grow in embracing technology, not just looking at MIS and sitting back for a year while it implements. Not saying that Timeharvest takes that long, or not sitting back. You can actually implement both within weeks, within months. You can have them both up and running and paying dividend back towards you. So I'm going to just bring Daniel into this now. I'm very conscious of time because we've gone over a little bit. Daniel, is there any questions for us to address?
So, hi everyone. Yes, there's a couple of questions that I've seen on the chat. The most recent one is, in your first example of the print shop, what you were showing the demo, is there a pricing set in the Vpress, or is this pulled dynamically from the MIS, or is that an option that you can do either or?
It is an option. It depends on the MIS system we're engaged with. So pricing is probably one of the biggest topics, pricing and shipping. We can pull that information from the MIS production workflow. We didn't do it with Timeharvest. We haven't done it yet with Timeharvest. Both of us are constantly updating the actual software and taking it forward. We can do it with other MIS systems, but we can also ingest it from the client systems as well. So we can manage pricing independently. We can receive it from the client. We can also do it from an MIS system. And hopefully, wasn't expecting anyone to answer that question. Hopefully we can do that from Timeharvest sometime in the near future.
Yeah, I don't think that would be an issue. Generally with us, it's set in Vpress and we're pulling it in from there. Obviously into our product library and everything's matching up in that way, but it's something that I'm certain we can do.
Yeah.
So we've also got another question for Ray. Does it connect to any particular VoIP system?
It doesn't at the moment, no. No, that's not something on our radar for Timeharvest at the moment.
Perfect. I've also got a question. How long does it take to implement both options? So if I was a printer with no automation at all and I wanted both of these options to be implemented, how long would it take?
So for us, it's it's how much access can we have to you as the client that dictates how fast we can go. We've set people up in as little as a week, but generally I would say 2 weeks to a month maximum, really, because it's about extracting the information from your business and getting that into the system. Once that's in there, it's pretty much ready to go. So I would say an average time is kind of 3 to 4 weeks.
For the web to print side of things, last week we had a company contact us using another web to print provider on Thursday via our website. We gave a demo on Thursday afternoon. We took a brief. Bear in mind, they haven't had training. We took a brief on Friday. They paid for the system on Friday, the deposit for the system on Friday afternoon, and they went live on Monday. So, and that was for a major brand. So just simple items, but that's how it can work. They haven't had training on the system, so they're relying upon us to build the templates and the storefront for their client that has an urgent need. But once they get training, they can be self-serve and self-sufficient. So no problem. But yeah, it's as quick or as long as you want it to be, depending on the requirement, of course.
Perfect. I'm conscious of time, but I think we've got time for one more question. And how long does this offer last for? So obviously the offer that you've showcased during the presentation today, £6,000 a year.
We'll honour it till the end of this financial year UK. So this is we are in February, so the end of next month we'll honour that. If we choose to roll it over, we'll make a decision then. Last quarter is the busiest time of the year. Everybody trying to get systems in, and customers want to start perhaps with a new system. So at the moment, it's up for the next 6 weeks. We'll support that and we'll honour that pricing. It's a considerable saving compared to what we would normally do, but yeah, I mean, we'll honour that, Ray. I mean, we'll review it after 6 weeks.
Same for Timeharvest. We'll review it in 6 weeks and see where we're at.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm quite conscious of time because we've passed the time. There's a couple of more questions. Should I ask them, or would
Go
you
for it.
prefer?
Go for
So we've got Lewis, no, Lotus labels. My bad, James. Sorry, James. Is the web to print self-hosted or SaaS?
Oh, it's a SaaS model. It's in the cloud.
No, it's web to
monthly.
print, Ray. Web to print.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
So yeah, web to print is SaaS. If you're looking at a hosted web to print system, it is an issue for so many reasons. There aren't really any hosted. I think there's still the old PageFlex system that's out there that's hosted, but all web to print now should be SaaS because of security and data integrity for one, and for flexibility. Again, massive subject, and I'm quite happy to stay here answering questions for as long as people want. But yeah, it really has to be SaaS now. The whole SaaS or on-prem, that has passed. But more than happy to give you a demo and take you through and show you some more.
So we've got another couple of questions coming through. What I'll do is I will ask this last question. I know a lot of people will have more questions in the future, but at the end of the presentation, we will have both Kelvin's email or Ray's email showcased. So if you do have any further questions, anything else that you want to ask, I would definitely recommend you contact them directly, or you can contact me, Daniel Schmidt. I think my email might be there or not. So the last question we're going to look at is, does the composition engine allow for embroidering JavaScript to perform various functions, lookups, and can you allow for page overlays for cutters, i.e. .fsdus? I'm sorry if I didn't say that correctly, but I'm not sure what the question is. Hopefully the presenters will know more.
FSDUs, yeah. So absolutely. So massive subject at the moment, workwear. As you can see, I'm wearing my Vpress shirt. We have DTG text for engraving, embroidery. We've just recently partnered with a global producer of those kind of items. We see a huge growth in that area. The output doesn't exactly match for direct stitching, but there's conversion tools that are used, so it's not too much of a problem. But huge exploding area. The document composition engine is Corex. It's something that Vpress has built ourselves and we maintain, and we feel it's far superior than the standard InDesign servers and PageFlex sort of models that are out there in the market. But yeah, more than happy to talk more, give you a demo, and answer those questions in more detail. So okay, I think that's round about it for now. Again, apologies for the webinar going over today. Myself and Ray's emails are on the slide there, or contact vpress.com or timeharvest.com as well. Let us know. Thank you so much for your time. This has been a live demo. There's always a little bit of backwards and forwards, things that go wrong. Judge us by how we overcame them, not by the amount of times it went wrong. If you need any help whatsoever, we are here to help. The purpose of this webinar is to show that we're here. We're looking for solutions that can conform and can help you in your business, and that's really genuinely what we're trying to do. So I'd like to say thank you very much. Ray, last word.
Brilliant, great. Thank you all for coming, and yeah, hopefully we'll hear from some of you.
Yeah, thank you very much.